Pierwsze pół roku.
The first 6 months of Donald Tusk's government and we hear about another stalled investment. The copper mining and smelting combine, KGHM, is withdrawing from its plans to build so-called small nuclear reactor. It is also still unclear what the government will decide on Poland's central transportation port. For now, all that is known is that the investment will be very much delayed. Will it be built? And will it be built as planned? Today, I took a closer look at the situation. We want planes from the central transportation port, which will be not far from our capital, from Warsaw, but which will be perfectly connected, and that from the farthest corners of the world can come here, which also has an obvious economic and business dimension, and of course also the strategic and security dimension. The Polish president spoke about these advantages during the Tri-Mountain Self-Government Congress in Lublin. The government seems to have overlooked them. Today, the 9th audit on the central transportation port was cancelled. The government's plenipotentiary for the central transport port, Maciej Lasek, had announced since December that he would present an action plan for the investment after auditing the actions of his predecessors. The results are not there.
Każdy kolejny audyt.
Every subsequent audit in every area that the central transport company was supposed to be subjected to has simply been cancelled. Stop creating teams, stop preparing laws that are unnecessary for anything, get to work and start investing. The coalition is waiting for more than 61% of Poles who voted in the polls in favour of building the central transport port. Investment is held up by the sluggishness and indecision of the government, which is doubling and tripling its efforts to prevent the project from being completed in its entirety. It talks about abandoning the concept of rail transportation and criticises the creation of an airport that is too expensive, in its view. And the investment is delayed. The ridicule of this has failed. Turning it into a mockery or a joke failed. It failed to prove that it was about stealing money. That being said, a conversation was started. There is a very good text in the English Spectator which shows a division of Polish society between those for and against the central transport port, which shows how important and aspirational it is, and how strongly dependent on the opinion of German politicians, however, is how the government will behave, because it is investments that make the Polish economy competitive, and also towards our Western neighbours. Now it turns out that there will also be no investment in the nuclear power. The president of the copper mining and smelting combine announced that the company will not finance small nuclear reactor technology. Settlements are needed. With them is the biggest problem. The new team has been in power for 6 months. We hear about an update of the Polish nuclear power programme, but there are no decisions needed for nuclear projects to move forward. To hurry up the government, the association, under the slogan "Yes to the Central Transport Port," has submitted a bill to the Polish Sejm committing it to act on this investment by 2030. LOT Polish Airlines will be able to export a huge number of services, air transportation outside our country, and this is a great export lever. These last 6 months I have not evaluated positively. Fatal, really fatal communication on the part of the company and your attorney. I'm waiting to hear what version of the project will be trimmed and what the changes will be. Poles are also waiting. First of all, for investments that are good for the Polish economy and thus for our pockets. Edyta Holdinska, TV Republic.